What is guys, it's your boy Illuminating 24 here. So today I'm here with a reaction video from Jubilee. So this reaction video is going to be the men's rights versus feminism. Is toxic masculinity real? Middle ground. I will say this, I will be moving throughout certain parts of the video so it's not super long because I don't think you guys want to watch an hour long reaction video like some things are. So I will move to certain parts where it's not super long. I have watched the video myself, so just like certain clips I've seen, I'm gonna go through this. We're gonna cringe together. Just bear with it. You may or may not like it too, but without further ado, we're gonna get into this video, and I'm gonna try to keep the video somewhat short. It might be a bit long, might be like 20 minutes, but it's about to get like heated. This thing's not gonna go like how I'm thinking it's gonna go. Don't worry. Alright, let's get to it.
Yes, an intersectional feminist.
When you hear the word feminism, what comes to mind?
Marxism?
Just right off the top and everything, from what I've seen, there's gonna be 3 guys, 3 girls, and the first girl that I just saw, she's like, intersectional feminist, so that's kind that just says, oh, men exist. Like the one that looks down and stuff. This right here, saw a snippet of him like some other videos. He's a YouTuber, I believe. Make sure I have my data right. Yeah, he's a YouTuber, and he's also an incel. So, yeah.
To me, feminism is fairness.
I think Zach, and I am 24 years old.
I currently work in the pet.
If this statement is true for you, I believe men and women are different but equal.
I know as a woman that I don't have the same physical strengths. Men and women are built differently. I think whenever things are built differently, it's for a reason, right? But at the same time, the amount of limits that have been put on women historically, like the fact that not too long ago we were just allowed to like start voting. Even today, like the wage gap.
Was that like 1940 or something like that women were allowed to start voting when they were raised? Because I know since I've been alive, women have been able to vote. But she also mentioned the wage gap, so I want to take a little like time here just to talk about the wage gap for just a second. That stuff has been debunked by like Harvey and other factual people. The wage gap does not exist. The wage gap is a myth. So therefore, being said, that point is invalid. I feel so Chris is gonna get involved in that one. He's just gonna tear that thing to pieces. He just straight from that person's like, I know what I'm talking about. I have facts. You don't. Look, just look at the face of the smugglers there. Really? You just mentioned the wage gap? Bring a wage gap. Okay.
Just all types of stuff. Like women just don't have a lot of rights that are just, it should have nothing to do with what gender we are to be able to be paid equally or just be treated with respect. So, yeah.
I do believe that, of course, there are biological differences between men and women, and of course, there should also be legal equality. Of course, I disagree with the idea that women face systemic discrimination. You just mentioned the wage gap, which has been debunked so many times.
He brought the wage gap in. He knows what he's talking about. So let's continue.
I've studied evolutionary biology quite a bit. And men and women are very different from not just a physical, the bone structure, the neurological department as well as the chemical balances, and also
She had that face. Let's just go back just a little bit. Just
sure, the neurological department.
Right there. The face of like, I'm about to slap every single thing of this man into like the next realm. He makes no sense, and he's already talking out of his ass. But
As well as the chemical balances, and also I don't believe that men and women are equal under the law either, or they should be rather. Children are not equal under the law, and it's not because we hate children, it's because we love them and we want to protect them.
So if
This dude is making comparison of women and children, and you're gonna have them all pissed off. Why? He's a mole. He's a troll. He's just gonna try to save it. I feel as though he's gonna try to be that like white knight warrior. He's gonna try to save that discussion so they're not. He's not making like the whole group make like look bad. He's about to undo everything that they're both trying to like all three of them trying to strive for, or at least the two of them.
you believe we're not equal, then that you're inferring that one would be greater than the other.
Well, so let me
So that's what
chime in
I'm
with my
trying to-
perspective.
yeah.
As far as not being equal, I don't think that necessarily means inferior or superior when it comes to certain things like roles like childbearing. A woman is going to be far more productive and a lot more nurturing than, say, a man. And when it comes to doing a lot more of the heavy lifting and the work, a man is probably going to be more suited for that role. And I don't think.
And I fuck with that. That's really true. Let's fast forward a little bit. We're going to get into some more meat and potatoes. So this part right here is going to be the toxic masculinity. And all you guys are like, why are you fast forward? It's like I'm trying to make sure it's not super long. I don't want it to be super long. Because sometimes when doing reaction videos, some people leave them like hour to like 2 hours like long. My thing is like I'm not trying to have like the whole thing being played over and over again. For like super long like things. No, I want to keep it like a little bit shorter. It might be a bit longer than the other, but best believe we're not gonna make it super long.
Is real.
I think that toxic masculinity is definitely a real thing. It's kind of just the idea of what masculinity should be, but it goes wrong a lot of the times, saying that violence, sex, power, being a controlling person makes you a man.
I see it in very unfortunate places, like when the young men or boys in my family, even from like toddler age, are told.
She just looks like she's been hurt so many times in her life growing up that she just feels all men as boys. She views like everything they do to be like a bad thing, and sometimes, yeah, I can see some things, but again, she's been hurt a lot, so it's to be expected. Hurt people. Shout out to Apple and Preach and everything. 'Cause I did see like some of your videos and everything when they say hurt people. Gotta give credit to where credit's due. But yeah, that's where I stand with that. Sometimes people that are hurt will hurt other people, say things that come from an emotional point of view. It's just one of those things. It comes in all forms.
You shouldn't be crying. Boys don't cry. And what that turns into, I see it when I'm in a bookstore and a guy who tries to get my number says, why y'all always gotta act like that? And he sincerely had this like cracking voice, like he was hurt.
Okay, so I saw a little snippet. I will say, keep in mind right here. There's a receipt right here. This is factual evidence. Because I'm just saying, like, some things I've seen, because I went through the video myself just to verify before doing this. She's gonna go off the rails, but notice how she says that the guy approached her for her number. Just note, just a little side note. Just note that. You'll see later.
But it was an entitlement. And that's toxic masculinity. It's saying like, you don't realize how your behavior is harmful.
What does toxic masculinity mean? Is it character traits? Is it upbringing?
The suppression of feeling for a lot of men, because throughout childhood they're told man up. So because of that, there's a lot of.
And I will say this on her perspective. Yes, that is true. That is a true case. Men are always, like, men when they're growing up from infants to toddlers and other stuff, we're told not to cry. Certain things it's okay to cry with, but vast majority you don't need to cry over everything. Pain is pain. You're gonna shed tears. You're gonna be hurt. That's what happens. That's with any human. That's a human reaction. It's an emotional reaction to. That's how you react to pain. So you're gonna cry. You're gonna do things to relieve that pain pressure that you're going through or that you are feeling physically or mentally and emotionally. That happens. But there's more to just that. Trying to approach like women and stuff like that. Trying to do all this other stuff. You want men to like be open to like expressing like their emotions, but when we try to, well, fun fact: when you try to approach a woman that is random and everything, how do you think she's gonna how do you think she's gonna cope with that? She's gonna think you're some creepy ass reader. Look at Master Roshi. I mean, I don't have like any like little thumbnails or anything, but if I did, if I had like a thing for Master Roshi, hold on, it'll be like if I can find them or some type of like shades. Where are they? I think they're in here. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah. Hey, ladies! Yeah, bomba! Like, you get what I'm saying? That's what we kind of come off as, like, really creepy people. So, I'm not going to spend too much time on that part, but...
Repression then is usually channeled into anger for some people because they don't not always know how to express because they're told not to express.
So upbringing and
that's part of
environment.
it.
Okay.
Yes.
But not being as forward as you could be, not being as honest.
It's situations because you started off with saying
Weakness, I actually think it's a sign of stress. In addition, sad or upset, you're wrong. I think that men's rights activists are only men's rights activists as a response to women expressing that they want more equality. I don't think they focus on actual men's rights.
No. So here's the things I'm going to debunk about her. It's not. I'm saying this with a straight facts, right here. It's not that it's an entitlement for us, because we can care less about entitlement. It's about standing for what's right, doing the right thing, and trying to make a change, especially for like men. Because if you do not pay attention, lady, don't even know what your name is. But and this goes for anyone too. If you were a feminist, probably a slew of feminists at me at the comment section. Doesn't really bother me, but I'm just gonna say my piece anyways. With men's rights, do you know how many times we get false allegations on us for rape, sexual harassment, you name it? For things that we don't do. There's a lot of men who get persecuted. A lot of men who get death row. Like there was a lady who shot and killed a black guy. I can't remember the whole story. I can't remember. He came to the home by accident. Thought it was his, but it said her like shooting. Well, not shooting, but told the guy, "Hey, you got the wrong home. You need to stop." The guy would have left, but she took a gun, deadly force for no reason, and shot him dead. He died. So there's that aspect of always being fear that you're gonna harm people when you come near them because you're a male, when you're not actually gonna do that. So sometimes we just want to come up and have a normal conversation with you guys, and it's kind of hard to go and do that when you're also treated as, "Hey, let me feel your boobies, baby." That type of dude. The up to no good. The Mr. I can't tell if you're looking at me inappropriate. I can't tell if your eyes up here or down there. I can't tell if you check me out or you're just sexualizing me. Type of thing. But yeah. There's other things I will say. We also, for the men's advocate thing, they also try to make things fair for men, especially in family courts. And all in all, they're trying to prevent suicide rates of men from getting higher. They're trying to lower all that, trying to have men like live longer lives. But in order to do that, you guys have to understand their stuff. I always say, like, before you come to things, always bring research, always bring facts. Do not just come to with an opinions and stuff like that. It makes no difference, and it's really like shitty.
Issues, and rather it's just an attack on women and feminism.
Today, women have more advantages than men.
Okay, let's hear it from them.
I can speak from a hiring standpoint when it comes to things like affirmative action, and there are certain roles that traditionally men and women have been able to serve in, and now women can basically do all of those things, right? Because we've had such a strong advocacy for equal representation in the workplace. Whereas, for example, you'll never find a man as a midwife nurse, and I don't think it's appropriate. That's why there are those differences.
Yeah, so not really gonna worry about Derek too much because everything he's been saying for the most part has been just patrolling. But of what he's been saying and everything, he's really correct. There are some things that are traditional that you'll find more of a women, like more of a woman role to go and do. Because let's be honest here, you did mention midwife. So when you mention midwife, do you hear wife in that thing? It's more female. It's specifically made for a female. It's like having a women's restroom and a male's going to a women's restroom. Why are you going that way? Specifically saying women. You know what I'm getting at? Like, there's other like things where like other job opportunities that you'll see more women in because it's more suitable for them. It's suited for them to actually like call center and stuff like that. Yeah, men can get that and everything, but you'll see usually a lot of women taking that because it's like an easier thing for them to go and do. They're not as strong as us, so we're going to be doing more like the dangerous jobs that pay a lot more. Like you have construction. You have like building construction where you're on skyscrapers or on the side of mountains doing construction that you can just die from at any given point. Or you're in the military. You don't see too many women join the armed forces. I'm just saying. When I was in like the army and everything, because little fun fact, I was in the army and everything. I was in 92 Army parachute graduate service and everything. But I will say this, as far as the whole thing goes with that, you're not gonna see too many women in there. You might see some in there, but they take more of the support, like really like support jobs that don't like 42 Alpha human resources. They try to do stuff like that. You don't see them trying to do necessarily like things like combat arms. There are some that do that and everything that they want to thrive into that. That's a small token minority, but the vast majority, no. Just saying.
Simply because I don't want to give my number out. It's part of that. Any situation that I've experienced where like I physically felt endangered simply because I don't want to give my number out. It's part of that entitlement for men. You're not entitled a conversation when you're not.
So I will say this. She brought up a fact, and I'm just gonna, before I bring up the fact, when it comes down to the whole number thing, I want you to bring up more things than just a number, because when you're in a discussion, you're supposed to bring up more topic, like more factual evidence to support your claim, to support your stuff. Have you guys not did like any science thing where you do like conclusion and like even English? You have your hypothesis, or your thesis. You have your claim. The thesis is just your hypothesis that you're starting out with because you believe this is and that. And then you have your claim of what you're claiming that you're trying to stand up for. Then your facts that you have right there. You elaborate on all those facts. That's what you need. You need that stuff. You need more facts than just a cell phone call. Or, hey, can I get your number? Like, you need more facts than that. Bring some more stuff to the table. But I will say this and everything, on the feminist side, sometimes with the clothing and everything, the clothing apparel that they have, they can't just go outside and wear like a thing, well, again, over sexualized. It makes them feel uncomfortable, even at night. I've seen it like in schools, when I was growing up and everything, women always had to wear like certain things. You couldn't just have like their normal stuff. And it's awful. But yeah, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. We're gonna get into like some more meat and potatoes because make sure.
A tax on a box of tampons. Do you think I choose to do this monthly? No, trust me. So why should I have to pay taxes when this is a medical necessity?
We're just like this reasoning, and
we're just gonna go to like the next little topic they have in here because I want to keep this video a bit shorter.
That the other side does not understand my.
Whew! Okay, I feel so. Okay, pay attention to her. I'm not gonna talk that much in this one, but pay definite attention to this one right here. I feel she's gonna pop off Like I said, I saw a little bit of segments, but I didn't see all of them, so I'm really iffy when it comes down to this stuff. But pay attention to this. It's important, trust me.
I think a lot of times when a movement is created, the other side thinks that they're being attacked or think that it's some like attempt at erasure. That's not what feminism is about at all. What do you need a whole men's rights activism movement for? I'm sincerely confused.
Well, I mean, like, I will advocate for positive masculinity and what men should represent and healthy outlets for men. Like, I still think the Boy Scouts should be exclusively the Boy Scouts, for example, one of those things. Where I would like to think that we could get some common ground is when it comes to the clear biases that are in the court system, especially in the marriage and family court system, right? And right there is what I would advocate for when it comes to men's rights.
The things that stand valid, like that I'm hearing from y'all that are like valid to me, come from a place of like, I am treated like unfairly by the system. Versus a lot of the things women are saying, it's also America and the system as well, but a lot of it is like harm from men.
It's almost as like when she's talking, it's like she's trying to make it about herself. And I really hope she's not trying to go and do that, because you're taking away from the discussion. You're taking away from the main point of everything that's trying to be here and being spelled in this topic today. Like, you're here to talk about, can you guys find a middle ground? Can you explain your points without being at each other's throats? Can you talk about this like normal people? And the answer is yes, you can. But it takes a certain type of people to actually talk about this, because she's already starting to like explode. She wasn't imploding a little bit, she was balling up, but she started to explode, not and erupt. I feel she's gonna get triggered at some point. That's like this whole thing, and it's gonna be like awful. But yeah, she's like taking away from what he said. She's not really listening, and that's an issue. When you're having a discussion, you should listen to both sides of the story, both parties, and everything. Listen to what each other had to say, not cut each other off, not try to not acknowledge what they're talking about.
How and where?
How and where what?
Where's this harm?
Woo! Woo! The hands came out. She's about to go full on Shakisha. She's about to just go on like, oh honey, you messed up. You said how and why. Do you not value me? And again, try to album and preach your thing. Gotta value me. Like, she is literally like, oh my god. She's like gonna probably start clapping, be like, oh my god, I can't believe you said this. Let me flip my hair, move out my hair, let me take off all this. So you really want to go there and everything? Blah, 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 blah. Like, she's about to go all in, like balls to the wall, all in. She is about to part her own receipts and just go straight in. She don't give a damn no more. Her emotions just probably went over the place. She's about to like disregard everything she's about to say. Something's about to come out like half-assed and not making any sense. 5, 4, 3, 2, fucking 1.
For men coming from.
Okay, it started when I was young. I'm not going to talk too long. I was 16, got a bottle thrown at me because I told a boy no. It started when I was in a club. A boy touched me. I said no. He kept touching me. It got to the point he got violent. It gets to the point that the only reason why a man decided to stop touching me in the bookstore I talked about earlier is because he realized my husband was not too far away. And he said, sorry, bro.
Okay, I'm going to stop that right there, because I'm starting to cringe a bit. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, so let's be quite honest here. When it comes onto that, she just contradicted herself. If you go back to earlier in the video and everything, when you watch it yourself, you can watch the original video. She did say that the guy approached her, but notice that she didn't say that he touched her. She didn't say he touched her at all. That his voice is cracked up. Like, either what's going on here is that since she's in a high emotional state, she's fabricating certain things, she's lying about certain things that happen just to make it more valid in her eyes, or she's leaving out and withholding things that have happened. But nevertheless, if you're gonna say a story, stick to your story. Don't contradict what you're saying, and don't stray from the topic. Like, we're here for facts. We're here to understand one another. We're not here to just be here at church thirds and talk about all this stuff, like all these stories. Like, it doesn't matter what stories you have. We understand what happened to you. It's awful and it's terrible, and we're trying to change that. But how can we change that when all of a sudden you guys are getting, especially this one is getting extremely heated and just wants to talk about stories to see who has like most stories. That's not what these things are for. These things are for actually just talking and stuff like that. Like, you're trying to come together and make sense. But sometimes people don't do that. Oh my god. I can't believe it. Oh my god, I just can't believe she's about to go in.
Never said sorry to me. That's why. And that's off the top of my head. This is why I get upset, because I'm like, I'm here to talk about like how you feel, but when you just dismiss the fact that women actually have experiences, that's when it seems like it's about more than your rights. It seems like it's about your ego. And that's where I get pissed off. Because how dare you tell another human being that...
See, she's not even trying to listen. She's just so spouting off. And this is when she's in a high emotional state. That's why I will say right here, it is hard to talk to certain people when they're in an emotional state. And in this case, it's really hard to talk to women when they're in a high emotional state. Because their emotions are flaring, and you have to let them just go on that tangent. Because if you try to, like, tell them to calm down, try to get them to stop, it's just going to make that worse. So he's just waiting for her to finish, because he's trying to, like, say his part. When she finishes, she simmers down a little bit, he's going to be able to say what he needs to say. But she's just making something out of nothing.
Their experiences, what they're telling you right in front of your face, is not valid.
I didn't say they were invalid. I said how and why. I'm trying to understand.
How and why? Because it happened. It happened.
That's what he wants. That's all he was trying to get out of, like, the stuff. But you made something out of nothing, honey boo boo. No, picking the basket for you. Hey boo boo, we're picking the baskets, but not for this one. She's like Goldilocks. My poor shoe hot. My poor shoe cold. Oh man, this part is just right. Let me make this all about me real quick. Alright. I know it's about feminism, but I want this to be about me because I'm on camera. I'm getting paid for it. But, oh my god. She simmered down a little bit, but let's see, there's like another like little topic part. So I'm gonna go a little bit and more for you guys.
We're not fully agreeing on it. Things may get lost in translation. Our verbiage may not be 100% correct. That we could at least agree on.
Can I ask one question? What would you envision would be the ideal man with the end goal of feminism, as far as educating men or working to dismantle whatever patriarchy is? Like, what does that man look like?
It starts with childhood. We have to teach children as well as girls, because we're also taught, because of toxic masculinity, what a man should be as well.
I think that we just need to hold men accountable in order to kind of make progress.
And also hold yourselves accountable. You can't just say that, oh, all men are bad. That's what you guys are trying to paint a bit from what the vibe I'm getting off of, like, the other thing. Yes, I skipped around a bit. But I was trying to get to, like, certain points in the video so you guys can see what they're talking about. And again, I will link the original video in the description when I upload this video. But yeah, quick disclaimer and everything. Hold both parties accountable. Yes, there's issues on the men's side, there's issues on the women's side. But at the same time, though, you can't just say all men are bad. That's like saying all men are trash. Like, all men are evil. Like, no, we're not. There's a small token of us that make all the rest of us look bad. It's a thing with women. So it says, weeding those ones out first. coming together and trying to do stuff. However, I will say this: do not try to have messages that you want them to say and everything. You just want basically like a slave at that point.
Progress, we need help from people that will listen, because let's be real, when we express our concerns, a lot of men refuse to listen, but they...
So you say that we refuse to listen? No, honey, but when we listen, but when it's time for us to go and talk, let's do like a little disclaimer. When a boy tried to go and do that stuff, you ignored him. Like, you guys cut him off several times. So you want to be heard, but you don't want to hear the other party. That's your issue. But with that being said, I'm going to cut this video here, and I will link the rest of the whole video and everything, so you guys can actually go back and actually view it yourself. But I just want to show you what my reaction was when I was looking at it, because it was like one of those things. And it shocks me how much when you try, like, how much things can be like diverse, especially when you're trying to come across like people to come to like a common goal. What's your end goal? What are you trying to stand for? What are you trying to represent? What are you trying to do? And here in this video, Jubilee does have like some good like points with certain things, but I feel so when they try to represent or do like a representation of certain like goals and ideals, the way they try to showcase it, it's not the ideal thing, if that makes sense. Like, Derek, for example, on the thing, he's just a huge troll. Like, he's an incel. And they feel so that they're not attracted to like women. They have like trouble always attracted to women, so they hate both women and men. So it's just like, why you have this for a men advocate? That makes no sense. So there's some things that they do here that make no sense. But I do say overall, I will give this video itself maybe like 5 out of 10. I mean, there are some good points. Like, Chris that comes in with some things, some facts and everything. He just comes in like this boss like, rah! And then all of them just eating the level. It's just, ugh. But Zach and Chris that both had like really solid like factual stuff that they brought up examples. While the other side, they kept talking mostly about getting numbers. And one kept like one contradicted herself. This one right here didn't really have too much to like really say. Like, that was factual evidence. So the one that's in the middle, I feel so had like more factual evidence than the other two. It wasn't necessarily in an emotional state, which is good. So I can see like certain things from both sides. And again, when you're in a discussion, you're not here to bring up stories. You're here just to talk about like the stuff at hand. What are the evidence and pieces that you have on your side that we need to hear about? We don't need to necessarily hear about your stories, because I'm here to do a piss competition of who had the most damage to them, because everyone has their own version of hell and what they go through. But how we get to where we need to get to is all determined on what we want to go and do. But that being said, I hope you guys liked the video and everything. I do apologize in advance for like the whole skipping throughout certain things, but I do try to keep the video like at least like a decent amount. I try not to have like over an hour, because I don't want it to be super long. But let me know what you guys thought about the video. If you guys liked it and everything, smash that like button and everything for me. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. And hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. I do get notifications like, hey, there's people subscribed, or there's people didn't subscribe but they watched the video. I get told like how many people viewed it. So if you like the video, hit that like button, subscribe, comment your favorite part, and I'll do more reaction videos and everything coming up this week. So if you want me to react to a certain video and everything, reach out to me and everything. Facebook and everything is in my bio. Same thing with my I believe like my email and all that stuff. Like, reach out to me and everything. I will reach back out and I will see what you guys are doing and everything. Also, just DM me. I'm open to DMs. Just make sure that your DMs are decent DMs. But I will react to videos that you guys want to be seen. I'm open to all suggestions and everything. And comment below who you think had more valid points from either side, and what was your favorite part about the video, what you like, what you didn't like, and I'm always down for feedback and everything. But yeah, you guys have been real and everything, and I appreciate everything you guys do for the community and everything, like the way you guys follow through, you share the content and everything with everyone else, continue sharing the content, it helps the channel grow and everything. And with all that being said, you guys shine bright and everything. You guys keep it real and everything. Keep it 100, you know what I'm saying? Stay safe out there. Wear your mask and everything. Wear that protection. And I'll see you guys in the next reaction video. All right. Illuminating 24 out. Peace.